Soil pH is one of the chemical properties of soil, one of the most important chemical properties of soil, as it governs a huge number of other chemical properties and the various amount of nutrients that will be present in a soil. So let us first go into see and what is the concept of soil pH. As Wikipedia says, soil pH is defined as the negative logarithm of the hydrogen ion in concentration in a solution. It is the negative logarithm of the hydrogen ion in concentration. So the greater the share or percentage or proportion of hydrogen ion in concentration, that determines the pH level. pH level ranges from a value of 0 to 14, right? pH ranges from 0 to 14, and the neutral is 7. 7 is neutral. All soils having a pH below 7 are said to be acidic soils, and all soils having a pH above 7 are termed as being alkaline soils. But neither is too alkalinity too good for a soil, neither is too much of acidity good for a soil. Let's just see a pH range. 7 is the normally 6.6 to 7.3, they've given a range, but 7 is the exact neutral. Now, in a soil sample, there are various scientific and field-based methods to measure soil pH. There are number of pH meters which can now easily measure the pH of a soil once we make the take a soil sample and convert it into a solution. But what is important for us to know is why is pH so important? Because pH influences the nutrient availability in a soil. That is why pH is important for soil. Let us look at it now. See, the primary nutrients here, this is neutral. This we go into acidity. This side we go into alkalinity. Now, the three most important elements for a plant are nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. See, nitrogen is available for most of the range except for extreme alkalinity and acidity. Phosphorus is not available in very acidic soils. It is available ideally in a slightly alkaline or slightly acidic soil, and it's available in over excess quantity in very alkaline soils. Same for potassium. Very high alkalinity leads to excess potassium, which is also not good, and very high acidity also leads to acidic soils also lead to low potassium, so both are harmful. So actually the ideal range for plant growth is slight acidity or slight alkalinity. So this is the ideal range, 6.5 to 7.5 for plant growth. Let us see some other minerals, nutrients concentration for plant which are available when acidity soil is more acidic, and which are more available when soil is more alkaline. Remember, pH means the negative logarithm of hydrogen ion in concentration. The greater the share of hydrogen ion in concentration, the greater is the acidity, and greater the share of hydroxyl ion in concentration, the lower the share of hydrogen ion in concentration, so alkalinity increases. Now, sulfur, calcium, and magnesium, all three behave similarly. They are ideal in slightly acidic to slightly alkaline soils, but their quantity is in excess when we go to very alkaline soils. But iron, magnesium, boron, and copper and zinc have a very high share in acidic soils, and except for boron, they are not really available in very alkaline soils. So crops which need, say, iron or manganese or zinc, they will never grow well in a soil which is very alkaline. They will also not grow well in a soil which is very acidic, but they can grow in slightly acidic soils also. So this is what is important, why pH is important, because nutrient availability is determined by the pH level of a soil. So pH level, since it determines the nutrient availability, that is why which crops are more conducive in which kind of soils is judged better if we know the pH of that soil and what pH is ideal for that particular crop. This pH also in turn governs not just nutrient availability but also organic matter content, uh, and thus it influences the other chemical characteristics of the soil also, because what minerals are present in a form which can be absorbed by the plants is also being determined by the pH. There are more concepts that are required to be studied in advanced soil science as to how the soil pH can be modified, and what are the problems when we tend to modify it, how it has a buffering property. But those are for higher studies. As an introductory level, we should know that pH is important because it determines what are the nutrients available for a soil. So as a geographer, it is important to ascertain in which region what is the pH, and so what crops or land use or agricultural practices can be practiced there, or what kind of fertilizer is required in that place to grow a particular kind of crop. So that is why pH is important. So this is one of the chemical properties of soil pH, soil pH. Hope you've been able to grasp the basic concept and its importance. Thank you.